Hey, thanks for joining me, folks. Today, April 24th, 2023. Looks like we got a lot of news that just showed up. So I got a number of stories to get to today, including the big news about the DNC debate that you may or may not have heard about yet. But first, I want to talk about lines. Yeah. Let's see, that's not it. Here we go. Waiting in lines. I mean, who has time for that? We're living in the 21st century, people. We have self-driving cars, flying drones. Well, we can't figure out how to get a damn latte without waiting in line for 30 minutes. Now, I don't know about you, but I refuse to be a victim of the line industrial complex. That's right, folks. There's a whole industry out there dedicated to making you wait in line. They call it the queue management industry. Let's call it what it is, a conspiracy to waste your time and drain your patience. Now, don't get me started on businesses that purposely make you wait in line. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones with the fancy marketing schemes. They lure you in with promises of discounts and freebies, only to leave you standing in line for hours on end, like a chump. But not me, folks. I've had enough. I refuse to let these businesses control my life. I'm taking back my time, and you should too. Instead of standing in line, I've learned to be resourceful. I've learned to make my own damn latte at home. And you know what? Tastes as good, if not better. And I don't have to put up with some Gen Z barista judging me for ordering a plain old cup of black coffee. So, say it out loud, folks. Waiting in line is for suckers. Let's boycott these businesses that make us wait and show them who's boss. And they can ask us why we're not waiting in line. Tell them the truth. We're not going to be pawns in their line game anymore. We're taking back our time, one latte at a time. Now, in conclusion, waiting in line is just a waste of time. It's rarely worth it. Take control of your life and show the businesses you're not going to put up with this line nonsense. Because in the end, life's too short to stand in line like a chump. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Yes, lots of lines happening. I think it's happening more and more post-pandemic. It happened with me yesterday, and that's why I'm cranky and talking about it this morning. Went to IKEA, and I was really hungry, and I waited in line for a long time at their little cafeteria thing so I can get my lunch. But then I was buying some light fixtures and some light bulbs and things like that. And I made it down to the end where the line is, and the line went all the way to the back of the store. No, I'm not doing it. I just left my merchandise there and walked out. I'm not going to stand in line for a half hour for the privilege of buying their crap. It's not happening, you know? Whatever. I'll get it online. I'll have it delivered, or I'll go, midday on a Tuesday or something when there's not a whole lot of people. But I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I see this more and more, and it just doesn't work for me. What about you? Does it work for you? Now, there are some exceptions, like when you go to the doctor, they make you wait, and they want you there at a certain time, but often the doctor doesn't, they leave you waiting for a little bit. But that's a little bit different. I'm talking about retail establishments that just want you in line forever. Now, I know brunch culture, and I'd make an exception for brunch culture. I don't want to wait for brunch. But if I have a group of people and that's the thing, we're all going out to brunch, I guess part of the fun is standing out in line in Portland for brunch and chit-chatting with people while you wait. Not really my thing, but I get it. But at the grocery store, no. At IKEA, it's not happening. I'm done. I will go home and order it online and have it delivered. I'm absolutely done with waiting in line. So let me know if you have been fed up to the level that I am. Let me know in the comments. And we got an interesting show today. Lots of news. Lots of news. Big news with Tucker. Tucker has parted ways with Fox News. That would have been my number one story today. I was off teaching some fitness classes. I come home. I got 20 minutes to get ready for the show. Check in on what the news. Oh my God, Tucker's gone. I didn't see this coming at all. So I'll have more to say on this tomorrow. As of right now, nobody really knows anything. Where is he going? Nobody knows. And I guess Don Lemon was let go as well. But I'm just surprised. I wasn't sure if he still had a show or not. I thought he would have been fired by now anyway. But who knows? Anyway, we got a lot of stories to get to today. So first up, let's talk about these debates. Biden is preparing to announce his re-election campaign next week. Actually, this article was from Friday, so I think he's I think he's planning on releasing a video tomorrow to coincide with the 4-year anniversary of his 2020 campaign launch. Biden's top aides have been quietly preparing for a run, including holding regular meetings with the president and first lady, while the Democratic National Committee has funded research projects. Biden is not expected to face serious opposition for the nomination, and the announcement would move the country one step closer to what could be an extraordinary presidential campaign with Biden considerably older than any other president in U.S. history. So, folks, this is what I caught in the article on Friday. This came out Friday evening here on the West Coast. Wall Street Journal. So you know that this is coming directly from the source, right? Directly from the establishment. But the big news, paragraph 11. Paragraph 11. The National Democratic Party has said it will support Biden's re-election, and it has no plans to sponsor Democratic primary debates. Wow. Wow. So they're already floating it out. We don't need to have any Democratic debates because we got a guy that, frankly, we don't trust in front of a microphone, which is why, in my opinion, that he's not making a big campaign rally. You would think, right? He's running for re-election. He should have a big campaign rally. But they don't trust him to have a big campaign rally. They got to film it beforehand so they can edit it, film it again, up his dosages of whatever drugs they're giving him to make him look like he knows where he is. They can film it again and again and again, edit it just right so they can put out the announcement video. And wow, the DNC is just going to run this game where they hide him and have no debates whatsoever for the primary. And I would assume if they don't have it for the primary, they'll just, in the future, just say, well, we don't need to do debates for the general election either. And I think when the entire media is backing you, I think they can get away with it. I really do. I'll give you another example of this. This was an article that came out this week. And this is Reuters. Reuters, as we know, covers, they're one of the main sources that all the newspapers in the country use. Well, let's look at how they covered this story. So this is archived from Friday evening. And I archive things because the media can go back and change it, right? So you want to get a snapshot of it before it gets changed. But this is their fact book, 2024 U.S. presidential election. Who's in? And who is out? And who is still thinking about it? Okay? So we're starting off with Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and we keep going down. Now, these don't seem to be in any sort of order, but it is interesting that the order that they've put them in. They're not grouping Democrats and Republicans together. It's not in alphabetical order. So, okay. But you'll notice everybody, like here, Mike Pence, hasn't even announced yet, but they make the name a little bit bigger, and they bold it. And then we got Chris Christie, Chris Sununu, Vivek Ramaswamy. And then what's this right here? What's this right here? Robert Kennedy Jr. They didn't even make his name bigger or bold it. That seems like an error from Reuters. How can Reuters take a candidate and, not even highlight his name? And I understand they may think, oh, this is just a mistake. We made a mistake. Our editor made a mistake. You captured this 3 hours after we posted it. So this was Friday evening. Hey, they made a mistake. Well, this is the page live right now, Monday, noon, on the West Coast. And when we scroll down and we look at how they're covering the candidates, again, this is an article that came out Friday night. And we look again when we scroll down, Robert Kennedy Jr., his name is smaller and it's not in bold. And to kick it off, this is how they talk about RFK Jr. They say, an anti-vaccine activist, Kennedy, 69, is making a long-shot bid to challenge Biden. So that's the play. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to cover him. They're not going to make his name the same size as all the other candidates on Reuters. Reuters is not supposed to be biased like this. Reuters is supposed to be a source for lots of newspapers to use in their own reporting. They just say, oh, via Reuters, and then they cut and paste the Reuters article. But here we go. Reuters, live, Monday. This story's been up since Friday night, and still they're running with the anti-vaccine activist, and they have his name smaller, and they don't bold his name. I don't know what to tell you. They're not that incompetent. Reuters is not that incompetent, but they are taking their... So it looks like this is going to be the play. There's going to be no debates, and the mainstream press and the corporate press is going to just dismiss any other Democratic candidate, to say that they're extreme, to say that they're not serious, say that they are a long shot, so that they don't have to have debates. Now, if we scroll down further, the only other candidate here is Marianne Williamson, who's a Democrat. The best-selling author and self-help guru has launched her second long-shot bid. So it's a long-shot bid. Well, at least they said she was a best-selling author. At least they didn't start off with something as controversial as what they did with RFK Jr. But I think this is the play. This is what the media is going to do. They're running cover for the Biden campaign. They're working hand in hand with the DNC. And you may think, Tom, how do you know this? It's like, because I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. What is your understanding of how Reuters has left an article up for 3 days with this glaring error? You think they're that incompetent? You don't think they've been told? Come on. Give me a break. That's ridiculous. So anyway, but what do you think? Do you think they're going to be able to pull this off? They're going to be able to run Joe Biden, hide him away, not have him do any live appearances, and not have him do any primary debates? I think they are. I think that this is going to work. That's the power that the media has. I think it's going to work. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And as a reminder, stick around for the after show. After I play the outro music, I will go through and I address all the comments that are left on Rumble and YouTube. So stick around for that. But now, let's get to another story. Russia has accused the U.S. of denying visas to Russian journalists who were supposed to cover Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov's chairmanship at the United Nations Security Council in New York. Lavrov criticized the U.S. for behaving cowardly and stupidly, showing that its claims of protecting freedom of speech and access to information are not worth anything. He also stated that Russia will not forget or forgive this matter. The Russian journalists were supposed to cover Lavrov's time in New York as Russia assumes the rotating chairmanship of the UN Security Council. The U.S. State Department has not yet commented on Russia's claims of denied visas. The accusation comes amid controversy over Russia's arrest of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich on allegations of espionage, whom the U.S. has designated as wrongfully detained. Now, it's interesting how they addressed that. They said that this person was wrongfully detained. But they didn't say he wasn't a spy. Okay? They didn't say that he wasn't doing espionage. You would think if this person were not a spy and were not doing espionage, that the State Department would just say that, would just flat out say, oh, well, they're not a spy. They're not working for us. What you've done is wrong. But instead, they're not addressing the accusation. They're just saying he's wrongfully detained. Interesting choice of words. Interesting choice of words. And it really is odd that our government is not allowing journalists to cover things at, to be here to cover stories at the UN. That's weird. Does that sound like America to you? Doesn't sound like it to me. I don't know another alternate explanation other than, Russia bad, and so therefore we got to do bad things to all Russians. Russia has the chairmanship of the UN Security Council right now. So if you're going to allow them to have head of the Security Council, you should allow some of their journalists to actually show up and cover that event. I don't know. Weird. Weird times. Not very logical. But I guess not a lot of things are these days. Do you have any explanation for this? Because I'm still looking for an explanation. Let me know. And let's get to something else. Bed, Bath, and Beyond. That's everybody's favorite store, right? They filed for bankruptcy, but said that its 360 stores and 120 Bye Bye Baby stores will remain open along with its websites. The company has secured a $240 million loan to help fund its operations during bankruptcy. Store closing sales will begin on Wednesday, and some stores will close permanently. Bed Bath & Beyond said it would seek to sell some or all of its business, but if a buyer doesn't come forward, it will be liquidated entirely and go out of business. It's possible the company could emerge from bankruptcy as an online-only retailer. So this is looking like the end of retail, doesn't it? I always thought there would be Bed Bath & Beyond. That is the place that I would go to buy my filters for my AeroPress, making my coffee every morning. They were the only place around that sold the filters in a 500 pack. But if Bed Bath & Beyond is gone, I've been seeing so many retail stores closing here in my city. And wow, this is just something else. You know, we just lost all the Walmarts here in town. Bed Bath & Beyond. It's a reckoning on big box retailers. So, yeah, well, we'll just have to see if they're able to stick around or not. But if you've always wanted to get something from there, like I say, the liquidation is starting in a lot of stores on Wednesday. So good luck with that. Okay, and now for total insanity. Okay. Starting May 1st, upfront fees for loans backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will be adjusted because of changes in the loan level price adjustment. The fees vary from borrower to borrower based on their credit scores, down payments, types of home, and more. The changes relate to credit scores and down payment sizes, meaning that in some cases, people with higher credit scores may end up paying more, while those with lower credit scores will pay less. The entire matrix of fees based on credit score and down payment has been updated, and the penalty now for having a lower credit score will be smaller than it was on May 1st. What kind of upside down clown world are we in that they're punishing people with fantastic credit scores and saying, well, to be fair, we need to charge them more. And if they would just, I don't know, not pay a couple bills, get their credit knocked down, then we can give it to them at a better rate. In what world does this make any sense at all? I know this sounds insane. You can read the article for yourself because maybe I got it backwards. Maybe I don't understand it, and that's possible too. But as always, I have an archived link to every story that I do in the description of the video. So you can go and read it for yourself. But this sounds nuts to me. Punishing people for having higher scores, and if the score went down, they would get a better rate? What? What? I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Obviously, I got to look into this more because it just sounds crazy to me. But I guess we're living in crazy times. So, lastly, let's get to some good news. A new study suggests that hair turns gray due to the loss of chameleon-like function in melanocyte stem cells that get stuck in hair follicles. Melanocyte stem cells are responsible for producing and maintaining the pigment in hair, and researchers found that moving them to a proper location within the hair follicle could help prevent hair from going gray. The study used physically aged mice and traced the fate of the same stem cell during hair follicle regeneration. More research is needed to understand the molecular mechanisms of how this stem cell location is regulated, and the study was published in the journal Nature. So why is this good news? Well, it sounds like they now understand why hair turns gray. And that's part of it. You know, to solve problems, first you need to understand why the problem is occurring. And so now they've figured out that this particular cell is stuck, okay? And so there are things that they can do to unstick these stem cells. But I think that that is good news, because if they can figure out how to solve this problem, you know, there's a lot of people that go gray. They don't like going gray. It's not a thing. It probably has absolutely nothing to do with why I keep the sides of my head so short. Has nothing to do with gray hair whatsoever. But this could be good news if you're not a fan of the gray. And perhaps this is going to be a thing of the past within the next couple of years. I bet it is. That's my prediction. I predict gray hair, they'll have it figured out in 3 years. That's my prediction. Stick around every day for 3 years and find out if I'm right or not. I don't know. Anyway, that's all the show I have for you today. So stick around the after show. I'm going to go through all of your comments. I will definitely have something to say about all this breaking news about Tucker tomorrow, once I learn a little bit more about what's going on. That's really exciting. But until then, hope you have a beautiful day. Peace. Okay, here we go. And again, look at that. If you were over on Rumble, your message would be nice and big for everyone to read. Apothecary John is there. Hello, hello. Duggo says hello. What is up? But yeah, I tell you, this lines thing that I talked about at the start of the show, I was just done. I was just done with standing in line. I'm just so sick of it. And I know I sound like a cranky old man, but I'm a little stubborn. And when I make decisions like this, I actually do them. So, yeah. So let's go through the comments here. Over on YouTube, it is hard to debate when you can't form complete sentences. I'm sure we're not talking about anyone in particular, and certainly not the current president. Perhaps he can be tricked into debate by disguising it as an ice cream gathering, maybe a taste contest. The thing is, the people that are really in charge, the people in charge of Joe Biden, know that he doesn't present very well, and they don't trust him on a live mic. And so that's what's going on. But I definitely think they're going to be able to get away with it, because it appears to me that the people on the left still believe what the press says. And when the press tells them that everybody else is a kook and a conspiracy nut, and so they don't have to have a debate for Joe, they'll go along with it. They will parrot those talking points. Ferry says, I would share on Twitter, but Musk ruined my Twitter, and I lost all but 2 of my followers, so it's pointless to share there, but I did share a couple of Discords. Okay. Bring a book, start a conversation, find ways to make it interesting. Yes, that's what you could do. You could do that, but I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. I lived in LA, says Miranda, then moved to a small town in Yakima Valley in Washington State. My experience in LA is that you rush to get places to wait in line. In a small town, you places leisurely, and there are no lines. RFK Jr. may take the corporate Democrats by surprise. Perhaps, but we're really seeing a full-scale press against RFK Jr. Like I showed you with that Reuters article, they're going all out to try and smear him from the get-go. And this is not just like NBC smear. This is Reuters. Reuters, AP, these are the articles that get cut and paste and put in all the local news and all the local newspapers. So they've already shown their hand this early. RFK might even get me to vote Democrat. Reminds me of how they treated Ron Paul, Dennis Kucinich, and Tulsi Gabbard. All like RFK Jr., also anti-war. Isn't it funny how anyone that is anti-war really gets smeared by the press? It's probably just a coincidence, though. It's probably just a coincidence. You know, that's what they did. They did it to Dennis Kucinich. They did it to Tulsi. I remembered what they did is they kept changing the rules as to who could get into the debate. You know, they would say, oh, well, you need to be polling at 5% in this many polls, but we choose the polls that you have to score 5% in or whatever. And then those particular polls would just score really low, you know. Well, so they just changed the rules to allow people in and keep certain people out. You know, it was interesting. They changed the rules to keep Tulsi out of like the third debate. But somehow, who was the billionaire New York guy? His name is escaping me right now. The little New York guy. But they allowed billionaire Mike something. Forgot. They allowed him into the debate. Nuts. So they're doing away with all that. They're just saying no more debates. No more debates this year. And I think it's going to work. Because from what I've seen, for the most part, people just take it. They just take it. And they go, well, they're in charge, so, you know, they must know something. That's how most people are. Let's see. When is Coffee After Dark coming? We'll just have to see. We will have to see if the writer's strike happens or not. But I have been thinking about that. Gonzalo Lira, latest video, Russia is winning too slowly. Okay, so that is a recommendation for a video. I let Bernie, then Tulsi draw me back into the Democratic race after Dem exiting in 2009. Never again. Yeah, I am not a member of a political party. Here in Oregon, they have different things. So there's like an independent party, and then there's also I am not affiliated with any party. That's what I am. Not affiliated with any party whatsoever. That's okay. I don't want to. It doesn't even matter here in Oregon anyway, because we're near last in the primary season anyway. So it's already determined who the winner is going to be by the time it comes around to our primary anyway. And the good Democrats of Oregon just take it. They never push back and say, hey, maybe we should get moved up in the schedule a little bit. No, they're going, no, we'll be last. We'll be last. That's fine. The people here don't need to have a voice, you know. Yeah, Oregon Democrats are great. They deserve it for quitting selling my pillows. Not sure what that's about. Tulsi had the same sense to leave. I wish Bobby would run independent. I am glad that he is running as a Democrat to take it to him. Now, if they do this move where they do not have any debates and they just have the media smear him, I guess, that's their defense. But I'm glad that he's running as a Democrat. If he ran as an independent, they would just ignore him as much as they are apparently going to do as Democrats. I thought Bed Bath went out of business. They did have some restructuring, and I know that they had a lot of, it was kind of a meme stock for a while. Lots of people were investing in it, keep them around. But it doesn't look like it's going to last. So, anyway, Bloomberg, that's right, Mike Bloomberg. Yeah, they kept out a sitting congresswoman and allowed in a billionaire that just donated a bunch of money. So it kind of shows you their priorities. Shows you their priorities for sure. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. As a quick reminder, you can. Bookmark rumble.com/coffeenuance/live. Makes it really easy to find my show when I go live every day. You can just click on that bookmark. There's no searching anymore. Should make it even easier, unless you like searching through the site to get it. But I encourage you to go over there. I do have some news about Rumble that I haven't announced yet, but I'll be getting to that when I'm a bit more prepared. Today, I went and taught a couple of classes already this morning, and so I wasn't sitting around here in the morning going through all the news. Turns out, boy, there was a lot of news this morning, but I'll get more to it tomorrow. Hope you all have a beautiful day. Until then, peace.